The first signs came from the Deep Space Monitoring Station on Europa. Dr. Maya Chen stared at the readings in disbelief as massive objects warped into the outer solar system, their energy signatures unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. She didn't need the advanced quantum computers to understand what this meant. Earth's greatest gamble was about to be tested. Admiral Elena Santos stood on the bridge of the TES Artemis, Earth's most sophisticated warship, currently masquerading as a decrepit orbital research station. The vessel's true form remained hidden beneath layers of quantum camouflage technology, a breakthrough that had taken Earth scientists decades to perfect. To any observer, including the approaching Nexian fleet, it appeared to be nothing more than space debris. Ancient, primitive, and harmless. Multiple vessels detected entering the Kuiper Belt. Admiral, Lieutenant Sarah Wong reported, her hand steady despite the tension. Initial count suggests over 2,000 ships, ranging from frigates to what appears to be their legendary Planet Killer-class vessels. Santos nodded, her expression revealing nothing of the anticipation building inside her. Earth had spent the last 50 years preparing for this moment, ever since their first stealth probes had detected the Nexian Empire's expansion through the galaxy. While other civilizations had announced their technological achievements to the cosmos, humanity had chosen a different path: secret advancement, hidden strength, and patient preparation. Status of Operation Shadow Veil? Santos asked, though she already knew the answer. They had rehearsed this scenario countless times. All planetary defense systems remain in stealth mode. Commander James Chen responded from his tactical station. Civilian populations are secured in the underground arcologies. Surface cities are running on holographic projectors. The Nexians will see exactly what we want them to see: a primitive civilization barely reaching for the stars. The Nexian Empire had conquered hundreds of worlds with the same methodology: arrive with overwhelming force, demonstrate their superior technology through a show of force, and accept the inevitable surrender. They had never encountered a species that had spent half a century specifically preparing for their arrival. The massive alien fleet grew closer, their ships resembling crystalline arrowheads that pulsed with purple energy. Their design spoke of absolute confidence. These were vessels meant to be seen and feared, not hidden. Earth's defenders watched through their quantum sensors as the Nexian fleet took up attack positions around the planet. Incoming transmission, Wong announced. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. Let's hear their demands, Santos ordered, settling into her command chair. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing Supreme Commander Zaxxlier of the Nexian Empire. His crystalline form towered over his command center, faceted eyes gleaming with barely concealed disdain. People of Earth, the alien's voice boomed, automatically translated by their systems. Your primitive world has been chosen to join the Nexian Empire. Your technology is obsolete, your defenses negligible. Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Resist, and we will demonstrate why no civilization has ever successfully opposed our might. Santos allowed herself a small smile. The Nexians had no idea they were about to make history in a very different way than they intended. No response from any Earth government, Wong reported after a moment. As planned. Good, Santos nodded. Let them think we're paralyzed with fear. Status of the quantum phase drive. Operating at optimal efficiency, Chief Engineer Dr. Paddle reported from engineering. Ready to execute on your command. The Nexian ships spread out in their standard conquest formation, preparing to destroy a few major cities as a demonstration of their power. They had no way of knowing that every building in those cities was a sophisticated hologram, the real structures and populations safely hidden underground. They're targeting New York, London, and Tokyo, Chen reported, monitoring the weapon signatures. Santos leaned forward, her heart steady despite the weight of the moment. Everything hinged on timing, letting the Nexians believe their own propaganda about Earth's weakness until the perfect moment to reveal the truth. Let them fire, she ordered. Then we show them exactly how primitive we are. The Nexian weapons lanced toward Earth's surface, their energy beams powerful enough to vaporize mountains. The beams struck their targets, and massive explosions bloomed across the planet's surface. To the Nexian sensors, it would appear they had just destroyed 3 of Earth's largest cities. Supreme Commander Zaxlier's image appeared again, his crystalline features arranged in what passed for a smile among his species. You see the futility of resistance. Your primitive defenses couldn't even slow our weapons. Surrender now, and we will spare your remaining cities. Santos stood, straightening her uniform. Lieutenant Wong, open a channel to the Nexian flagship. Full spectrum, maximum clarity. Let's give them a good look at us. The view screen split, showing Zaxlier on one side and Santos on the other. The Nexian commander's eyes flickered with the first hint of uncertainty at the sight of the clearly advanced bridge around her. Supreme Commander Zaxlier, Santos spoke clearly, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's preparation. I am Admiral Elena Santos of the Terran Defense Force. We've been expecting you. What trickery is this? Zaxlier demanded, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. Our scans showed no vessels of this capability in your system. Your scans showed exactly what we wanted them to show, Santos replied, allowing herself a moment of satisfaction. Just as your weapons hit exactly what we wanted them to hit. Those cities you think you destroyed. Nothing but light and shadows. The real Earth has been preparing for this moment for half a century. Computer, disengage quantum camouflage, Santos ordered. Show them what humanity has become. The TE as Artemis shimmered into view, its true form finally revealed. The vessel's hull was a masterpiece of human engineering, covered in overlapping plates of dark metal that seemed to absorb light itself. Patterns of silver-blue energy pulsed along its length, and weapon ports dotted its surface in precise geometric patterns that spoke of mathematical perfection. Impossible. Zaxlier's voice cracked with disbelief. No primitive species could possess such technology. That was your first mistake, Santos said, her voice calm but carrying an edge of steel. Assuming we were primitive just because we chose not to broadcast our advances to the galaxy. Commander Chen, activate the orbital defense grid. Full power. Across Earth's orbit, thousands of seemingly defunct satellites and pieces of space debris transformed. Hidden weapon platforms emerged from their disguised states, forming an interlocking network of defense systems that had been hidden in plain sight for decades. The quantum camouflage fell away from hundreds of defense satellites, revealing a web of advanced weaponry that surrounded the planet. Last chance, Supreme Commander, Santos offered. Withdraw your forces and never return. The alternative will be instructive. Zaxlier's response came in the form of plasma fire. The Nexian fleet opened up with their full arsenal, thousands of energy beams converging on the Artemis position. It was enough firepower to reduce a small moon to atoms. But the Artemis wasn't there anymore. The quantum phase drive, humanity's greatest technological achievement, had shifted the vessel through subspace faster than light itself. The massive barrage of Nexian weapons passed through empty space, their targeting systems confused by the sudden disappearance of their prey. Multiple targets locked, Chen reported as the Artemis reappeared behind the Nexian front line. Quantum torpedoes armed and ready. Fire, Santos ordered. The Artemis's weapon ports opened, launching projectiles that seemed to exist in multiple places at once. The quantum torpedoes phased through the Nexians' energy shields as if they weren't there, their warheads detonating inside the enemy vessel's hull. 3 Nexian cruisers erupted in silent explosions. Impossible, Zaxlier roared. Our shields are based on fundamental cosmic laws. That's your second mistake, Santos replied. Assuming you understood all the fundamental laws, humanity never stopped questioning, never stopped searching for deeper truths. Dr. Patel, initiate the quantum field cascade. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations on various moons and asteroids activated. They generated overlapping fields of quantum interference, turning the space around Earth into a maze of subspace distortions. The Nexians' advanced weapons began behaving erratically, their carefully calibrated energy beams twisting in impossible ways. "What have you done?" Zaxxlier demanded, real fear creeping into his voice for the first time. "We've changed the rules," Santos explained. "Your weapons operate on principles you discovered millennia ago. But while you were conquering peaceful worlds, we were pushing the boundaries of reality itself." Lieutenant Wong signaled the rest of the fleet. "It's time to show them everything." Throughout the solar system, more ships dropped their quantum camouflage. They had been hidden in the asteroid belt, in the shadows of gas giants, in plain sight as cargo vessels and research stations. Each one was a masterpiece of human engineering, incorporating technologies that the Nexians had never dreamed possible. The Earth fleet moved with perfect coordination, their actions guided by quantum-entangled AI systems that could predict and counter Nexian tactics before they were even executed. Their weapons weren't just advanced. They operated on principles that made the Nexians' technological superiority meaningless. "You see, Supreme Commander," Santos continued, watching as her fleet engaged the suddenly confused Nexian forces, "we knew you were coming. We've known about the Nexian Empire for decades. Every world you conquered, every species you subjugated, we watched, we learned, and we prepared. And now we're going to show you exactly what humanity can do when we're underestimated." The space around Earth erupted into chaos as two philosophies of warfare collided. The Nexians fought with the confidence of conquerors, their tactics refined through centuries of victory. But they faced an enemy that had spent 50 years preparing specifically for them, an enemy that had turned their own technological superiority into a weakness. The battle for Earth had begun, and the galaxy was about to learn a harsh lesson about the danger of underestimating humanity's potential. The Nexian fleet's formation began to break apart as they faced attacks from multiple directions. Their superior numbers meant little against an enemy that could appear and disappear at will, striking from impossible angles before vanishing into quantum space. Multiple Nexian vessels attempting to retreat, Wong reported from her station. "They're trying to open hyperspace corridors. Initiate Operation Lockdown," Santos ordered. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum field generators activated on countless asteroids and moons, creating a web of subspace distortion that made faster-than-light travel impossible. The Nexian ships found themselves trapped, their hyperspace drives unable to establish stable corridors. Dr. Maya Chen's voice came through from the Europa station. "Admiral, the quantum AI network is achieving unprecedented synthesis rates. We're predicting Nexian tactical decisions with 94% accuracy." This was humanity's true advantage. While the Nexians had perfected their weapons, Earth had focused on information warfare. Every human vessel carried quantum computers that could analyze enemy tactics in real time, sharing data through an untraceable network of entangled particles. "Their ships are adapting to our quantum torpedoes," Commander Chen warned. "Shield effectiveness against our primary weapons is increasing." "As expected," Santos nodded. "Time to show them our second generation of weapons. Dr. Patel, initiate the resonance cascade protocol." Deep within the Artemis, Dr. Patel and his engineering team activated systems that had never been tested in actual combat. The quantum phase drive wasn't just for movement. It could also generate fields that affected the fundamental forces of reality itself. "Resonance cascade initiating." Battle confirmed. Field strength at 40% and rising. Time to full saturation. 3 minutes. The space around the Earth fleet began to shimmer with subtle distortions. The Nexians' energy weapons started behaving erratically, their carefully calibrated plasma beams twisting in impossible ways. Some shots even curved back toward their own ships, their tremendous power turned against them. "This defies all known laws of physics." Zaxxlier's voice boomed across the command channel, his crystalline form now flickering with patterns of distress. "No," Santos corrected him. "It defies all the laws of physics that you stopped questioning. Humanity never stopped asking what if. We never accepted limitations without challenging them first." The battle had spread across the solar system. Earth ships danced between Jupiter's moons, using the gas giant's massive magnetic field to enhance their quantum effects. Others fought in the asteroid belt, turning space rocks into weapons with precisely calculated gravitational manipulations. The Nexian flagship is changing formation, Chen reported. They're gathering their remaining dreadnoughts for a concentrated assault. Santos studied the tactical display, watching as the massive Nexian vessels clustered together. Their energy signatures were building to unprecedented levels. They were preparing to unleash their full firepower in one devastating attack. They're desperate, Santos observed. They're about to try something reckless. All ships, execute formation Omega. Dr. Patel, prepare for maximum resonance cascade. The Earth fleet moved in perfect synchronization, their positions calculated by quantum computers to create overlapping fields of influence. The Nexian dreadnoughts opened fire, releasing enough energy to crack a planet. But as the massive energy beams entered the quantum distortion fields, something extraordinary happened. The laws of physics themselves seemed to twist. The Nexian weapons, designed to operate on principles they had mastered millennia ago, encountered spaces where those principles no longer applied. Their energy beams split, merged, and folded in on themselves, creating a spectacular display of light and power that accomplished nothing. Impossible. Zaxler's voice had lost its imperial authority, replaced by something close to panic. Our weapons are based on universal constants. That was your final mistake, Santos replied calmly. Believing that your understanding of the universe was complete. Signal all Earth forces. Execute Operation Pythia. Throughout the solar system, Earth's ships activated their most sophisticated systems. The quantum AI network achieved perfect synchronization, creating a tactical awareness that bordered on precognition. Every human vessel moved as part of a single coordinated organism, their actions guided by computations that predicted not just where the enemy would be, but where they could be. The Nexian fleet found themselves caught in a dance they couldn't comprehend. Every maneuver they made was countered before they executed it. Every strategy they attempted was met with a perfect response. It wasn't just advanced technology they were fighting. It was an enemy that had turned warfare itself into a science beyond their understanding. You could have asked to learn from us, Santos said to Zaxler as his fleet's formation continued to deteriorate. You could have approached Earth as equals, seeking to exchange knowledge. Instead, you came as conquerors, assuming that your age gave you wisdom and your power gave you right. Now you're learning what humanity does when we're forced to defend ourselves. The battle for Earth had become a lesson in humility for an empire that had forgotten how to learn. But the greatest revelations were yet to come, as humanity prepared to demonstrate just how much more they had been holding back. Supreme Commander Zaxler proved why the Nexian Empire had dominated the galaxy for so long. Rather than succumb to despair in the face of humanity's technological surprises, he adapted. The remaining Nexian ships suddenly split apart, their energy signatures fluctuating wildly in patterns that disrupted Earth's quantum predictions. Network accuracy dropping, Dr. Chen reported from Europa, down to 67% and falling. They're using their power cores to generate quantum static. Clever, Santos acknowledged. They're sacrificing shield strength to counter our predictive capabilities. Commander Chen, status of the fleet. 3 Earth vessels heavily damaged, no casualties. The Nexians have lost approximately 40% of their force, but their remaining ships are consolidating into smaller, more mobile battle groups. The space around Earth had become a chaos of light and energy as the battle entered its most critical phase. The Nexian fleet had abandoned their traditional tactics, fighting with a desperation that made them unpredictable. Their weapons might be less effective through the quantum distortion fields, but they still had numbers on their side. Admiral, Dr. Patel's voice came through with unusual urgency. The quantum resonance cascade is having an unexpected effect on local spacetime. We're detecting microfractures in reality itself. Santos studied the tactical display, watching as small rifts began appearing in space. They looked like tears in the fabric of reality, edges glowing with impossible colors. "Can we contain them?" "Better than that," Paddle replied, excitement creeping into his voice. "We can use them." Permission to initiate Project Oracle. Santos allowed herself a grim smile. Project Oracle had been deemed too dangerous to test, even in simulations. But now, with the fate of Earth hanging in the balance, it was time to reveal humanity's final card. "All ships, fall back to secondary defensive positions," Santos ordered. "Dr. Patel, you have permission to initiate Project Oracle." Full power. The quantum generators throughout the solar system began to pulse in perfect synchronization. The microfractures in spacetime grew larger, forming a network of dimensional tiers that connected like a web around the Nexian fleet. Through these rifts, impossible images could be seen, glimpses of other realities, other possibilities. By the first crystal, Zaxler's voice wavered as he witnessed the phenomenon. "What are you doing to space itself?" "We're showing you the true nature of reality," Santos replied. "Your empire has traveled the stars for millennia, but you've only scratched the surface of what's possible." Humanity looked deeper. We didn't just master quantum mechanics. We learned to speak to reality itself. Through the quantum rifts, alternate versions of the battle began to bleed through. The Nexian ships found themselves facing attacks not just from Earth's fleet, but from possibilities and probabilities made manifest. Every tactical decision they made spawned countermeasures from parallel realities, where those decisions had already been made and countered. "This is abomination," Zaxler declared, but there was fear behind his words now. "You risk unraveling the fabric of space-time itself." "We risk everything to defend our home," Santos corrected him. "The question is, how much are you willing to risk to conquer it?" "Look around you, Supreme Commander. Your fleet is trapped in a web of quantum possibilities. Every move you make is countered not just by our ships, but by the very nature of reality itself." The Nexian fleet's formation had completely broken down. Their ships were caught in a dance of probability, facing attacks that existed in multiple states at once. Earth's vessels moved through the quantum rifts with precise coordination, appearing and disappearing across multiple dimensions of reality. "Admiral," Dr. Chen's voice came through, tight with concern. "The quantum rifts are stabilizing. The AI network is processing tactical data from multiple timelines simultaneously. We're achieving predictive accuracy rates that shouldn't be possible." This was the true power of Project Oracle, not just the ability to predict enemy actions, but to witness and learn from every possible version of the battle simultaneously. The quantum computers were processing information from countless parallel realities, learning from victories and defeats that existed in superposition. "Nexian vessels are attempting to self-destruct," Commander Chen reported. "They're trying to collapse the quantum fields with massive energy releases." "They still don't understand," Santos said, more to herself than her crew. "The quantum rifts aren't just a weapon. They're a demonstration, a proof that everything they thought they knew about the universe was just the beginning." "Dr. Patel, initiate final phase of Project Oracle." The quantum rifts began to pulse with new energy. Instead of showing parallel realities, they now displayed mathematical equations of impossible complexity, the underlying code of reality itself. To the Nexian sensors, it would appear as if space itself was revealing its deepest secrets. "Your empire's greatest weakness," Santos addressed Zaxler, "was believing you had reached the pinnacle of knowledge. Humanity never made that mistake. We always knew there was more to learn, more to discover. That's why we'll offer you one last choice. Surrender and learn from us, or continue fighting and learn just how much more we've been holding back." In the silence that followed Admiral Santos' ultimatum, the fabric of space itself seemed to hold its breath. The quantum rifts pulsed with mathematical truths, each one a window into the fundamental nature of reality. The remaining Nexian ships hung motionless against this impossible backdrop, their weapons powered down but not yet deactivated. Supreme Commander Zaxler's crystalline form had lost its imperial luster, now clouded with the weight of revelation. When he finally spoke, his voice carried none of its former arrogance. In 10,000 years of expansion, the Nexian Empire has never encountered anything like this. Your weapons we could understand, your tactics we could adapt to, but this. He gestured to the quantum rifts surrounding his fleet. You've turned the laws of physics themselves against us. Not against you, Santos corrected. We've simply shown you how much more there is to learn. Your empire stopped asking questions once you achieved dominance. Humanity never stopped wondering, never stopped reaching for deeper understanding. Through the quantum rifts, images of possible futures flickered like heat mirages. In some, the Nexian fleet continued to fight, their ships torn apart by forces they couldn't comprehend. In others, a different path emerged, one of collaboration and shared discovery. The quantum AI network is detecting massive power fluctuations in the Nexian fleet, Dr. Chen reported from Europa. They're either preparing for a final attack or powering down, Commander Chen interrupted. All Nexian vessels are powering down their weapons. They're opening their hangar bays, standard Imperial surrender protocol. A new signal came through, not just from Zaxxil's flagship, but from every surviving Nexian vessel. It was the Empire's formal surrender code, accompanied by something unprecedented in their history, a request for dialogue. Admiral Santos, Zaxxil's voice had changed, humility replacing imperial decree. The Nexian Empire has existed for millennia because we knew when to adapt. Today, you haven't just defeated our fleet. You've shown us how much we've forgotten in our quest for dominance. On behalf of the Empire, I offer not just surrender, but a proposal. Santos raised an eyebrow. We're listening. Your species has achieved in decades what we thought impossible in millennia. You've not only mastered quantum mechanics but transcended it. You understand aspects of reality that our greatest scientists never imagined. We offer an exchange, our knowledge of the galaxy, our star charts, our technological database, in return for the chance to learn from you. Dr. Patel's voice came through, excitement barely contained. Admiral, the quantum rifts are starting to stabilize. They're forming permanent bridges between probability states. This could revolutionize our understanding of quantum mechanics even further. Santos studied the tactical display, where Earth's fleet maintained their strategic positions around the surrendered Nexian vessels. This was the moment humanity had prepared for, not just victory in battle, but the opportunity to guide the galaxy toward a better future. Supreme Commander, Santos replied, humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our tactical innovations. It's our endless curiosity, our drive to question everything, even our own assumptions. If your empire is truly ready to embrace that principle, then perhaps this battle marks not the end of an empire, but the beginning of something far more significant. The quantum rifts began to close, reality settling back into its normal patterns. But the changes this battle had wrought would ripple across the galaxy. News would spread of how Earth, a world the Nexian Empire had dismissed as primitive, had not only repelled their fleet, but had demonstrated mastery over reality itself. All Earth forces, Santos broadcast, stand down to defensive positions. Commander Chen, begin coordinating with the Nexian vessels for ordered withdrawal to designated sectors. Dr. Chen, please prepare the quantum network for data exchange protocols. It seems we have much to teach, and perhaps still much to learn. As the sun rose over Earth, its light fell on a changed solar system. Debris from the battle would orbit as a reminder of this day. But more importantly, quantum communication channels were already being established between Earth and Nexian vessels. Scientists from both civilizations, driven by shared curiosity, began exchanging theories and discoveries. The battle for Earth had ended not with the destruction of an enemy, but with the birth of a new era. Humanity had proven itself not just capable of defending its home, but worthy of leading the galaxy toward a future where curiosity and understanding trumped conquest and dominance. Admiral Santos stood on the Artemis observation deck, watching as Earth's fleet guided the Nexian vessels to their designated positions. "Computer, send a message to all Earth forces and defense installations," she ordered. Message begins. The true test of victory isn't in defeating an enemy, but in transforming them into allies. Today marks not the end of a battle, but the beginning of humanity's role as teachers and guides for a galaxy that has forgotten how to question, how to wonder, and how to dream. Let's show them the way. Message ends. As her words spread across the quantum network, the first light of a new dawn touched the quantum rifts still hanging in space, their equations now serving not as weapons, but as bridges between civilizations ready to learn from each other. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had been preparing for all along.